All right, let's talk about the main event at UFC Phoenix between Cain Velasquez and Francis Ngannou. Before we get into that, I do want to apologize for my voice. I've been sick the past couple of days. I don't really know what it is. I didn't go to the doctor or anything, but you may just have to bear with me for a video or two, and then we'll be back to normal. But getting back into the main topic of the video, the fight between Cain and Francis ended like I don't think anybody really expected. I don't think anyone would have put money on that in Vegas. I don't think anyone would have called that in their pre-fight predictions. It's just not something we thought about happening. I mean, Cain come out like a bull in a china shop, absolutely putting it on Francis. He came at him swinging. He came at him hard. He came at him fast after a very, very long layout. I think he was out over 2 years. And then to come back out fighting like that against an absolute killer. I mean, Francis Ngannou, even though he froze up in that fight against Derek Lewis, he was terrified. I think he's got his mental game back on track, and he's back to the Francis we all know and love, and has a true shot at getting the title. Although I don't think this fight really plays much into that title chase. Well, I can't say that, because a win is a win. He still beat Cain Velasquez. He still came out the victor in the fight. You'll see more about what I'm talking about in the highlights at the end of this. As soon as I get finished running my big mouth here, I'll have some highlights at the end that kind of shows you more in depth of what happened. But basically, Cain came out swinging, like I said. Francis was backing up. He was swinging with him, but he was also moving backwards towards the cage. Cain threw a shot in on him, a kind of weak shot, if I'm being honest, for Cain Velasquez and the caliber of wrestler he is. But look who he's fighting. I mean, he's fighting an absolute giant in Francis Ngannou. So you got to be really smart and calculated about how you go in on someone like that. If he catches you one time, it's over with. And to give Francis Ngannou even more credit than I have, he deserves all the credit in the world. He won. He beat Cain Velasquez, but he did catch him with an uppercut as well. Now, that being said, I don't think that uppercut really put Cain out. I don't think it had anything to do with the fight being finished. It didn't seem to really hurt him. The only thing that really got Cain was when his knee hyperextended to the left and out, like it was an MCL rather than an ACL. Either way, that injury is really going to hurt Cain's career. And in the post-fight interview, it kind of sounded like he was retiring. And I hate to say that. Cain's an absolute legend, but it kind of seems like this was in his mind, his one shot. He's like, okay, if I can come back and I can win 2 or 3 or 4 in a row and get the title, then I'm going to do that. If not, you know, I've had an awesome career. Let's hang it up, be proud of what we've done. And regardless what happens, if he retires here or fights again, the man can hang his boots up, hang his gloves up with absolute pride. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, no doubt. The man's done a lot for the sport. He's an absolute brawler. He comes in to fight every time. He fights for the fans. He puts on a show. So that man doesn't have anything to be disappointed about. And he shows just how prideful of an athlete he is, and how honorable and respectable he is when he goes up and hugs Francis Ngannou. Even though he didn't really get knocked out or didn't really get stopped, he still gave respect to the man that beat him. And that was that. Now, where do they go from here? Where does Cain go from here? I truly hope he doesn't retire, but I can't think of another fight for him right now other than an up-and-comer, and Cain's just too good for that. I don't think he's going to accept a fight with an up-and-comer to try to prove their worth against him. He's just not that fighter. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I think Francis needs to win a couple more, maybe one more, to get a title shot. Or at heavyweight, he might get a title shot now. It's really hard to say. With the way the heavyweight division is right now, it's kind of in limbo. So he could very well get another title shot. He's got his mentality right. He could very well win against DC, but it seems as if DC's career path has been thought out in his head, and he's got a plan, and he's probably going to stick to that. But nonetheless, Cain Velasquez lost his fight. I don't think I don't think in his mind he lost it, but he gives respect to the man that beat him. His leg really hyperextended. He got caught with a couple of bombs after his leg gave out and he was on the ground, which you'll see in a second here, the replay of that. But he got caught with a couple bombs, and that was it. They called the fight. He couldn't really do anything. I mean, he wasn't getting back up. He just possibly blew out his knees. So the fight was over with. They both came in and did their jobs. It really sucks to see him go out like that, but that's the UFC, that's MMA, that's how it goes. You win some, you lose some. Sometimes it's not your night. Sometimes you go out and have everything in the world on your side, and then some freak accident happens like this. His knee gives out and he's done, possibly for his career. So it really sucks to see him go out like that, but I'm sure we'll see Francis Ngannou again, and hopefully we'll see Cain Velasquez again. Either way, tweet at him, message him on Instagram, tell him how much respect you have for him, tell him quick recovery, we hope you're doing okay, and of course congratulate Francis Ngannou, and make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. We'll get into the highlights right now, and I hope you all have a great rest of the day.